Hi everyone, welcome to the Movieception Show. My name is Fariva, and just this morning we got a brand new, I think it's a full trailer or at least a teaser trailer for House of the Dragon Season 3. I'm very ecstatic about it, especially because the trailer comes at a very, very great time. If you guys are not watching A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, that show is absolutely blowing a lot of people's minds. I've been enjoying the show. I didn't even, I already given my thoughts about the show and how much I've been enjoying it. I mean, the way that it's honestly stunned me in ways that I never would have expected. And right now we're kind of at a high when it comes to anything Game of Thrones. And what better way to continue on with that excitement than to show the first, well, not a first trailer. I think we got a couple of previews from it, I think from an HBO thing, but we do have now an official trailer that is out for season 3. I know we've all been waiting. I think, when did season 2 come out? It's 2024. So it's been about 2 years since we've gotten any kind of House of the Dragon episode. I know a lot of people have been complaining about that, but it does seem as though the show is going to be closing very soon after season 3. I think there's probably going to be one more season, and then I think season 4 is going to close everything off from what I've read. But that being the case, I'm very excited to see House of the Dragon. I know a lot of people were still mixed about season 2, but hopefully things will really start to escalate with the whole Dance of the Dragons, the whole Targaryen civil war that we've been seeing so far. Even though the war had basically already begun back in season 2, we're now only just starting to kind of, I hopefully see the escalation of that. And I don't even want to wait any longer. So without further ado, let's get right down into watching the new trailer for House of the Dragon Season 3.
Where were you?
So he's on the throne right now.
Alicent came to Dragonstone. She will open the gates of the Red Keep and surrender to me.
Okay, so that's from
You
season
cannot
2, yeah.
Trust her.
He has every reason
The
not to
king
trust
has
her.
abdicated the throne.
Abdicated.
A new
Ooh.
dawn is coming. A new line of unsullied kings.
Okay.
You are the king of
Shikes.
dragons. You have an absolute power within your grasp.
Lots of dragons, lots of battles. Oh, lots.
Sooner or late,
Oh.
Rhaenyra will send her new dragons here. It would be the end.
And
This is the moment you become queen.
ooh. Okay. So that is officially a teaser trailer for House of Dragon Season 3, and yeah, you can definitely tell they're really upping the violence, the brutality, basically the whole stakes of this Targaryen civil war that we're seeing. I was honestly very surprised how Rhaenyra focused it was, in a sense. It definitely seems as though that she's going to essentially be the leading force of how season 3 is going to turn out. That is not to say that, of course, we're not going to see the Greens. I mean, we do see them. We get a lot of new detail. It looks as though that Aemon is going to be king for a while, which I don't even know if that was even part of the lore. Maybe I'm missing something, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But it looks as though that it's no longer a war between Rhaenyra and Aegon, but now it's a war between Rhaenyra and Aemon. From the looks of it, who knows? But from what we recall back in season 2, we remember that Alicent wanted to forfeit the whole situation with the crown, surrender to Rhaenyra, and give Rhaenyra her crown back, given the fact that this was supposed to be her thing, right? And of course, the events of everything that's happened with House of Dragon is simply because of a misunderstanding with Viserys, and all that is the reason why everything has blown up. But we're at a point where, yes, the war has escalated. It's getting to a point where people are dying. people getting hurt, and it's understandable why Alicent would want to kind of just end this all off by surrendering. Now, with Aemon in power, I would imagine that's going to make things a little complicated. As much as the fact that Aegon, like we saw Aegon, he seems so that he's kind of trying to escape King's Landing and kind of go low profile for a while. It does seem so that Aemon's going to be taking over the ring, which, considering his personality and what he has been through, I would imagine that he's not the one type of person who would want to abdicate his title to Rhaenyra, considering the fact that he is a little bit power hungry, and we've seen that before back in season 1. I mean, we even saw him at that one point where he's like trying to find his brother, and he's like, hey, I could just simply kill you and I could just, become the king, etc. Right? So yeah, so things are getting really complicated. Things are going high stakes. We're seeing a lot more dragons. So it does seem as though we're going to see even more dragon action this coming season. On top of the fact that, tensions are rising. You can see how relationships are taking a turn. We don't even know what Daemon's thinking right now. I mean, at least like last season, when things ended, we did see him, pledge his allegiance to Rhaenyra, but even then we still have to be very cautious about his intentions, because he is still the type of person where, well, I should have been the king, right? Like, that's still his mentality. So does he still have that kind of mentality? We saw him kind of go through this whole thing with how he kind of was estranged from Rhaenyra for quite some time because of the things that have happened. Although, of course, after the whole thing where I think this was like at Dragonstone, where he had those visions, or no, it may not have been at Dragonstone. It could have been somewhere else. I can't remember exactly, but like it could have been Harrenhal. It could have been Harrenhal. But he was having those visions, and I think that's where he started to kind of change his perspective and be like, you know what, I will stand by you. So it does seem so that he will, for the most part, be on her side. I mean, we even hear his voiceover being like, hey, you're the Queen of Dragons, yada yada. So it does seem so that despite the fact that there was supposed to be consideration of the surrender from Alicent and the Greens, that probably will not be the case, considering the fact that Aemon is now the king. But not only that, but we're going to get a lot more wars. We're going to get a lot more battles. We're going to get a lot more violence, brutality. It does seem so that it's not just going to be happening on land, but even on sea. So again, lots of Game of Thrones stuff that a lot of us enjoy watching. It does seem so that we're going to see a lot more action this time around. I feel like that was something that a lot of people were a little underwhelmed by from season 2. Like, we got that one big battle. What was it? The Roses and Gold episode, the one where Rhaenys sadly died, and I think we all remember my reaction to that. But that was kind of like the really big battle, and then after that it just became all about the drama, and I guess a lot of people just were not happy with how things were executed in terms of season 2, because by the time we get to the end of the season 2 finale, a lot of people felt like, there wasn't enough, especially with the whole action part of it. It looks as though who I think it was Rand Condell is now amending a lot of those issues. We're going to see a lot more of the action, a lot more of the dragon action. I think that's something that a lot of people are very excited to see when it comes to House of the Dragon, more so than what we were able to get in Game of Thrones. But yeah, things are escalating. I am very curious to see what's going on with that one scene with Rhaenyra crying. I wonder if there's going to be a lot more casualties in a way that, once again, or either that, or I wonder if this is kind of the moment where Rhaenyra has to take some really, really drastic measures that she herself would not want to do. But if I recall, people call her Rhaenyra the Cruel. I think that's what people call her, for a reason. Maybe even though in her heart she doesn't want to do these kinds of things, it's quite possible that she may have done something that may have been very catastrophic that would basically impact her image with people in Westeros for the rest of history. So I wonder if there's something that may have happened in season 3 that is going to completely change everything, or if it's going to be a result of something that may have impacted or hurt someone who is close to her. Who knows, maybe she is heartbroken for the fact that, you know, she was betrayed by her friend once again, and, you know, she's once again now has to go deal with all this. Who knows, we'll see what happens. I think that was the one curious thing that I had in mind. I was like, ooh, Rhaenyra looks really, really upset. Like, what is the reason for that? But even that being the case, we're getting season 3 this year. We're finally getting a House of the Dragon show after 2 years of waiting. That being the case, I know there's been a lot of development regarding George R. R. Martin's comments about his relationship with Ryan Condell. A lot of it being the fact that, you know, even though they had a pretty good working experience with season 1, season 2 hasn't been the greatest, even to the point where George R. R. Martin called it a very abysmal experience, because of the fact that, you know, Ryan Condell is basically ignoring some of his notes from the looks of it. So I wonder if some of the notes are regarding something like Aemon, because as I said, I don't even recall if Aemon ever was a king. So is this one of the big changes that maybe George R. R. Martin wasn't happy about? I don't know. Like, I've not read the book, so I don't know too much of the literary context of what happens in the books. I think this one is Fire and Blood, right? So I don't know too much about that, but because considering the fact that Martin was not very happy with how season 2 was, I'm sure that season 3 he's even less involved with. I'm very curious to see how much of those changes are going to happen in the upcoming season, and whether they'll be fruitful, or are we going to experience another kind of deja vu that we felt with Game of Thrones. Which, I mean, I'm gonna try and be open-minded. We'll see how it goes. I mean, hopefully a lot of what we're gonna see season 3 is just gonna be a matter of trying to amend a lot of the feedback that was given for season 2. Again, I mean, it makes a lot of sense that we only just got to the starting point of the war in season 2, and that things are really going to escalate now with season 3, and see how that plays out between the blacks and the greens. So yeah, that's, I think, all I can say about season 3 trailer, just because, again, it's just a minute 30 seconds. There isn't a whole lot we're getting out of it, other than the fact that we're getting a lot of the preview for what's going to happen. But let me know your thoughts having seen the new trailer for House of Dragon season 3. What are your thoughts seeing kind of the previews and the fact that there's going to be a lot more dragon action? Are you happy about that? Was that something that you were very disappointed when things ended back in season 2? The fact that we're seeing a lot more action, is that something that you're very excited about? Are you very happy to see that this is kind of being amended for season 3? What do you think about the fact that there could be potential deception? The fact that perhaps Allison may not be able to pull through with her promise. Will it be because of Aemond? That's what I'm kind of get the implication of, but maybe there's a different reason for that. What do you think about? What are your thoughts about the fact that we see Rhaenyra kind of breaking down, like, what could be the reason for that? What is triggering her to kind of be this upset? Are we still going to see Daemon try to kind of backstab Rhaenyra, or has all that ended? Is he fully on board with Rhaenyra as the queen and fighting for her? And anything else that may transpire going into season 3? And of course, given the fact that Morton has talked about it, what are your thoughts about how this is going to impact season 3? Are we feeling confident about it, or are we feeling a little bit skeptical? Let me know your thoughts below, and make sure to like and subscribe.